Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Tuesday, February 3rd. And I have my speaker on here. Hang on a sec. There you go. So I hear myself in two spots. Welcome to this February 3rd. And I was just listening to talking at White House about this crypto bill and the importance of stable coins and what they're going to be doing for the US dollar going forward. And if you haven't followed along with that, that's a conversation which you should pay attention to. How these stable coin, at least stable coins, are going to build to project US dollars out in the world. It's fascinating. I actually have set it up so that I can receive crypto for the company for platform payments. It's interesting. I'm working on that right now. Anyway, little sidetrack. So starting off today, we had earnings come out for Palantir yesterday. That was great earnings. That stock popped, turning around that AI trade a bit. That's one of the things. It was kind of wobbly there yesterday, and now looks like everything's kind of back on track again. So you see to tell like earnings makes a big difference. The key companies have good earnings. That changes the tune for the whole segment, for the whole industry, if you wish. So starting off, we held on to the gains going into the close yesterday, and now we're holding on to the overnight. And I think that was just Palantir earnings holding that whole thing together, because it looked pretty dicey there for a while on that AI trade. Across the board, other stocks are doing pretty good. That's why they traded up at all yesterday. Now looking at the news for today, with nothing at 8:30. We have a job opening report coming out at 10, and that's about it. It's a bit anemic on the news side. We get more tomorrow. We get PMI composite, ISM services, oil report, ADP report, and of course, remember Friday we're going to get the employment situation. So we have a little bit of a weak news day today. So I'm going to see basically look for the how these the AI trade that's going to be able to drive the market higher. Is that the earnings from yesterday is going to be able to keep this holding this together and keep this moving. And the ES is right up here against this upper area of resistance at 7,025s. And they're just poised to make new highs or get knocked out. One or two things are going to happen. Either it's going to extend to the upside, or we're going to see them rotate right back here to the mean or to the attractor point, which is 69.50. Now remember, our default trade is always the failure to take out the high. So we're not necessarily looking for them to break out. That would be great. But it's if they don't, looking for short setups against the 25s and the 40s here for rotations down, definitely worth looking for. Initially, we're looking to buy against support 7,015s, 7,000 down to that 69.95. And those are the areas I'm keying in on this morning. There's two areas here, the 69.95s and the 69.85s, these two support areas. If both of them comes out, we are definitely heading back down to this attractor point at 69.50. I was keying in on this ledge right here at the 69.90. See 90 right there, 95 a little bit higher. This whole area right there, this support area, if that comes out, I'm thinking I'm starting to shift my bias already there. Looking at that 85 as the last holdout, one level below the obvious kind of a rotation. So that's kind of the way I'm going to get started this morning. Bias to the upside, looking to buy weakness for rotations higher, see if they can retest these highs, maybe even take it higher. And my hopes is not necessarily that they're going to be able to take it high. That would be great, but just looking for short setups up here to see if they're going to for basically a rotation down. So if we're looking for that failure trade to take it higher, for rotation back down again, and they don't have to rotate a whole lot down. I mean, if they really knock it down, it goes down to 69.50. If there's something else going on, some headline or something comes out, they can certainly just knock it a lot lower. But just technically to get started this morning without a bunch of news, with the earnings reports behind us, looking for retest of these highs potentially higher, and then looking for that potential failure trade for rotation back down again. Anytime they get up here, this upper area, there's always going to be like a bit of churning, a bit of stalling, attempts to take it higher, failures. So you can certainly scout those edges, and it's not going to be like just one trade. So that's usually the hardest part, because they can be up here bouncing back and forth against the highs and barely not go anywhere for a while before they fail. So you just never know when they're going to do it. So finding good trade locations, sitting in that trade, don't sitting in it for too long, but letting it develop. That's kind of I think the key for success. And if we just get some early weakness to start running this lower, I would look to buy against these areas. The 7,000, well, the 7,015s would be aggressive, and 7,069.95, 69.85 for rotations back up again. Below that, 95 and 85, so we're taking out any long bias and just going back range bound. Then they're backing off too much. That would be too much early weakness for this to hold to stay together. So that's the way I'm looking at it just to get started this morning. Now, that's the ES. Looking at the NASDAQ, let's see them get my F1 off here. The overall volume so far, it's 125,000 on the ES, and it's not too shabby. 147 here, or 147 on this chart here. The NASDAQ, we got that's not right. It's scrolled backward. What the heck? There you go. I was wondering about NASDAQ. It's way back there. It's scrolled back. It's not moving, and it's scrolled way back. Anyway, so on NASDAQ, we are definitely up here in these upper areas as well. And they're up here against this area, the 26,000. So that's an area which, if they take it out, they have a room to run on the upside before we start hitting all-time highs. So we got a little bit of leeway, or a little bit of runway, if you wish, on the Nasdaq before we really start seeing then run into that key area resistance at the 300s. But it's we have first a volume edge to get past. They have taken out the 25,930 edge. They're up here against this ledge at the 26,000, 26,030. And if that comes out, I mean, we have this little area ahead of us that can certainly be retraced. So right now, I would say the failure trade is right up here at the 26,030s on the NASDAQ. If that holds, we can probably see a rotation down. If you see early weakness, no real attempt to take it higher, I would look to buy against that 930s, the 970s down to this area, the 830s. Below 830s and 800s, these two support areas, I would take off the long bias and go back range bound. So as you can see, that's the lower end of this prior distribution from yesterday, and that is the one you want to key in on if they're going to reverse this any further. Below the 800s, I mean, we are pretty much, let me see where we're at there. This is right up in this area. So the next attractor down is going to be down here to 700, 680 to 700. So that would be taking this whole thing all the way down to this level right there. Okay, this attractor area. But initially, given the earnings and given everything's going on, looking for potential reaches to the highs, maybe higher. If you take out this area, the 26,000 to 26,030s, we may have a shot at taking this all the way up here again. We'll see if they're going to be that strong or not. Just be mindful that they are up against an upper area of resistance, so this area should hold. Or sorry, it doesn't necessarily have it. If it holds, then we're looking at the potential rotation down from there, and that would be the high of the day at that point. So we'll see how it develops. But so looking for short right here from the get-go, and if that doesn't work, they start taking that out, or just stay on the long side and look for shorts against these upper areas as they run into these upper areas of resistance. But then we clear this hurdle, and we are technically leaning towards the long side and see if they're going to be able to take this higher. And if we don't get much of that, to start knocking it down, that's looking to buy against these early weakness areas of support until they take out this 830s. And then below 830s, then bets are off. We are taking out the long bias. Last one level below that, 790 to 800s. Now, NASDAQ is notorious for taking it even one level below that, you know. So if you sometimes you see that you have pretty obvious an obvious area at level outside of that, and Nasdaq freaking runs it down in the whole level lower too, you know. But that's Nasdaq for it. So always be prepared for that, you know. But I would not be looking to buy against those weakness areas if it gets that weak. That's the only thing really changes. Because once you take out a key support area, yeah, they may be a stop running it and really squeezing it. But it's sometimes that's also the beginning of something bigger. And yes, don't want to be part of it. So you want to be on the short side of a move like that, if anything. And if you're not certain, just stay on the sidelines and watch the how it develops. Just be mindful. Don't buy into resistance. Don't sell into support. That's kind of the last thing you want to do. All right, so that's the ES and Nasdaq, both of them starting off with a bias to the upside, and see if they can make a go out of this, or if they're going to fail. So, and remember, the one we usually trade is that failure to take things higher or lower. And right now we are right up against that edge. So we'll see if they're going to take it out or not. On the bond side of things, real quick, I had a couple of bond trades yesterday, didn't go anywhere, far at least. I had a little bit on each of them, but right now we backed off a little bit in the overnight, a little bit lower. So just starting off a little bit lower, looking to buy against the 1409s, 114s, looking to sell against strength, 1418 to 20, 24s up to the 115s for rotations down. So that's pretty much the dynamic right now. It's the same story. I mean, I don't spend much time on it because you know the story. I'll let you know if I start seeing something more directional happening. But right now it's just drifting a little bit lower. So okay, fine. But if the bond market starts moving and you'll see the volume pick up and there's gonna be a lot more directional stuff going on, then you have to start kind of wondering what's going on in the economy. Right now, bond market is pretty quiet. And it's also very tradable. When it's quiet like that, you just have to be a little bit slower in your reaction time. In other words, things will not be developing very quickly. Sometimes you get in and it moves fast, and yes, it moves a few ticks pretty quick. Other days, you'll sit in that trade for a couple of hours. So just be mindful about that. You get good, excellent trade location. There's absolutely no rush to get in on the bonds. You don't want to chase it, because if you're going to trade it, just look for that edge to hold, and then it's click in your limit and let it sit there. If it fills, fine. If not, cancel it. All right, back to the ES and Nasdaq. And right now, kind of where we left it. Nothing really has changed. So starting off, side pass to the upside, guys. We'll wrap it there for now. So no news at 8:30. We get news at 10. So good trading, guys, and we'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. If I didn't tell you, I think I mentioned it before, but I'm writing right now. I'm developing an integration with Coinbase for futures trading on Coinbase, a native integration. So that's kind of the the next thing, and it's pretty interesting. So you should be able to trade the crypto futures the same way as you trade these futures. They're a little bit, but they're a little bit different. They trade 24/7, and they trade 24/7 in terms of they're not as liquid right now, but I think that's going to be a pretty big deal as they start coming online, and then you get rid of all the CME fees and all that stuff which comes with the CME. So it's an interesting one, but I'll keep you updated on it. I'm writing that integration right now. Alrighty, guys, we leave it there. See you back at 11:30. I will be sending out and be asking for beta testers and stuff like that as well. If you don't have what they would require is you need a Coinbase account, a retail Coinbase account enabled for futures. So it's and that's part of it makes everything more. It's not difficult. It's not different because the way they open accounts and manage accounts and passwords and stuff, it's just a different way of doing it. So. And it takes a little bit of time to integrate. Very different integration than you normally do with the CB stuff. Anyway, we'll let you know, guys. All right, I'll see you back at 11:30 later.